The Flying Tiger Historical Organization will produce a documentary honoring those brave China, Burma, India pilots who risked it all flying over the most dangerous air route in World War II, the Himalaya Mountains, while supplying the Chinese and General Chennault with much-needed war material and supply. We will do this in a C-47 named Buzz Buggy, currently located in Sydney, Australia.
This is the Battle of China. This, the great city of Shanghai on a September day in 1937. This, the fearful beginning of a new kind of war. This, the first mass bombing from the air of a helpless civilian population. This time, instead of protesting or negotiating, the Chinese struck back. And to the aid of China came volunteers who pledged themselves to fight against tyranny and oppression no matter where. Americans like the legendary Colonel Chennault and his Flying Tigers, who, with their few American planes, were knocking down enemy planes at the fantastic ratio of 20 nips to one of their own. Division after division of picked Chinese troops are being flown in our planes from China to India. Their supplies and ammunition brought in by plane and parachute. From fields in India, an Air Transport Command plane takes off every 6 minutes, loaded with artillery, jeeps, ammunition, men and supplies for the armies of China. Over this Burma skyway, over this hump of mountains 16,000 feet high, more tonnage is being flown into China than was ever trucked in over the old Burma Road. And in the skies over China, Japan faces new opposition. Young Chinese, many of them trained on the fields of Arizona, New Mexico, California, fly and fight beside their American comrades. The fighters and bombers of the Chinese Air Force and those of General Chennault's 14th Air Force today fly far and wide over China.
Pictured is Buzz Buggy with engines running. Currently undergoing complete restoration, she is painted in D-Day invasion markings, but with your help, will be painted in CBI colors for the documentary. One side will have the U.S. stars and bars, the other side of the fuselage will have China National Aviation Corporation insignia, because CNAC was responsible for pioneering the hump routes and much of the supply hauled into China. Now watch as Buzz Buggy's engines are started and test run.
Good old smoke stream, which is exactly what you expect with oil in the bottom of those cylinders. Little charge on the battery before they start the left engine. There you go on the left engine. Fired right up. That's great.
The Hump flight is planned for the second week of October from a yet-to-be-determined World War II field in India. Then across the Hump following one of the original Hump routes. Our first landing will be in Kunming to clear Chinese customs, refuel, and then on to Guilin. We hope to land at a field in front of the Flying Tiger Heritage Park, then taxi the C-47 into the park for display at the entrance. With your help, this reenactment flight will be filmed and documented, paying tribute to those Americans and Chinese who risked all to keep us free. With your help and through your donations, we will be able to repaint Buzz Buggy, film a documentary, and cover all the other associated costs with flying the C-47 across the Hump. This is a little-known piece of our American and Chinese history that needs told. During World War II, a bridge was built between our two nations, a bridge built on cooperation and friendship. By reliving and documenting this period of our joint history, we can cross that bridge to improve our relationships today. Together, in World War II, we defeated a brutal enemy. In an increasingly dangerous world, our cooperation today is just as important as it was then. You will be a part of making the documentary possible. Your contributions and help will allow for distribution and display around the world. History will be kept alive for future generations, and very deserving men and women will be honored and remembered. The Flying Tiger Historical Organization was formed in 2006 as a 501c3 corporation for the purpose of saving and restoring General Chennault's Command and Operations Cave located at the old Yongtong Airfield in Guilin, China. Today, a grand museum honoring the Flying Tigers stands there. No other aircraft deserves to be there more than the C-47. Without it and the war material and supplies it hauled into China, General Chennault would not have been able to resist the Japanese. China would have fallen and the Japanese would have had 1.2 million additional troops and 1,000 additional planes to deploy against General MacArthur in the Pacific. That is the story of China, the Flying Tigers, and the CBI Hump pilots, without whom the outcome of World War II might have been entirely different. To paraphrase Winston Churchill, never have so few done so much for so many with so little. Please help us to finish Buzz Buggy's restoration and film a documentary recording for all time the amazing accomplishments of our forefathers in World War II. Your donation will ensure that their legacy does not continue to go unnoticed and forgotten. Remembered and revered by all in China, we in America should too. Time is short, but with your help, we can save Buzz Buggy while honoring all the Americans and Chinese who defeated Japan in World War II. Help us spread the word by sharing this video. More of this story can be seen and contributions can be made at www.flyingtigersusa.com. Thank you.